You've been like through many stock market crashes, 1992, 2000, 2008, 2020. आपका mental framework कैसे था during all these market crashes, and any strategies that helped you in order to like just survive all these crashes?
Yeah, I think market जो ऐसा game है, it kind of signals to you. If you watch the market every day, ये top हो गया बाजार का. You might find it a bit more frequent, but market ऐसा नहीं कि एक दिन suddenly डूब जाता है. Or if एक दिन suddenly डूब जाता है, it recovers also typically. Suppose an incident like 9/11 happens, then the market will go down, but then it will recover also in a short order. Market signals to you. Typically, leverage ज़्यादा होगा system में, or the way people react to news changes. Good news आता है, share नहीं बढ़ता है. If it's a bearish market and it wants to be a bull market, bad news will come and the stock won't go down. So we watch these very, very carefully, or we find the valuations of the company very cheap compared to what we think the earnings profile is for the next 1, 2, 3 years out there. So that's when we step in and buy. So I pay a lot of attention to, it's not easy, but I try to spend a lot of time thinking when the bear market is ending or when a bull market is ending. Typically bull markets end in euphoria. जब लोग सब आसमानी सुल्तानी बात करते हैं, they're talking, ये हो जाएगा. I mean, people were talking कि Infosys 10 लाख हो जाएगा यार, ACC 5 lakh हो जाएगा. All the kind of nonsense. Market is extremely leveraged in the system. That is always a good sign. Market stops reacting to news. There'll be lots of clues that you will find out there. So, अगर bear market आपको लग रहा है, then you should take some money off the table. Because markets have always taught us that in a bear market, गधे भी घटते हैं और घोड़े भी घटते हैं. Everything falls. So everything will be down 30, 50, 70%. So that time just take some money off the table. I mean, it's not a thing that I would recommend you do every 2 months, every 3 months. But occasionally market cycle warns you. लफड़ा हो गया बाजार में. At that time, just take some money off.
And during all these crashes, like, were you in cash or were you deeply invested? You had taken out your portfolio?
See, I had taken out because I kind of figured out by reasonable measures that 2008, 2000, whatever, these markets are showing toppish signs. I've taken some money out to deploy back. But the one thing that I've learned in India is that you need to remain broadly invested. Maybe there are times when you just go 3 months into cash or something like that, but remain invested. जैसे मैं बहुत बार बोल चुका हूँ कि मैं आया था इंडेक्स 800 के नीचे था, अभी 80,000 के ऊपर है. So the index itself is 100x in the 30 years I've been here. Individual stocks are 500x, 200x or whatever. So it broadly doesn't pay to time the market. Maybe you can switch around from one industry to the other if you feel overvaluation, undervaluation. But broadly remain invested in high quality businesses.
30 years in, sorry, you're saying 100x in 30 years.
Oh, 100x in 30 is 800 to 80,000.
Yeah, it's around what, 16, 17%.
Yeah, something. Wow, it's about a bit 14, 15%, but without dividends. Dividends included, it gets better. So that's a good return, and that's for the index. I mean, the individual companies will obviously do so much better.
Yeah, exactly. And at present, abhi, like, you're fully invested into equities or you're on cash?
I'm on a little bit cash, more than I like to be in cash. I tell you, jab election aa raha tha between May and September, I was very cautious on the market because it was showing signs of euphoria, big IPO investments. आपने याद होगा Hyundai का IPO आया था, ये आया था, वो आया था. So I was getting some cash. The trouble with me is that I'm a very slow investor. So once I get into cash to reinvest that, I can't do it in 48 hours of even 1 week. I do it in a more gradual process as I visit companies. But increasingly, Kushal, as I visit so many businesses in India, I knock on the doors, meet management, I see no reason to be bearish. I think what we are happening in America is not necessarily positive, but we'll figure it out as a country. And I think it's a good time as any to remain invested.
So, abhi at present, it's August 2025. So, the short-term and long-term view would be bullish on the index or stock
market? The long-term view is bullish. The short-term, I don't know. See, it depends on what happens in America. And I'm not particularly bullish on what's America. But having said that, अगर आपको कोई चीज अच्छे दाम में मिल रही है, अभी आज के दिन कोई वो wide ball outside the off-stump full toss आ रहा है, so definitely you should take part in it. I'm not saying that because I'm bearish on America, you should not invest in India. I think it's fine.
What would your asset allocation strategy look like? Is it diversified into equity is one, of course, which is the biggest one. But apart from that, anything specific like gold, real estate, fixed income, etc.?
I have 3 diversifications. They're equity, equity, and equity. I have nothing else. I have a house, I have a car, whatever, but I never consider that a part of my wealth. That's just a part of living. I have always kept either in equity or cash. That's it, waiting to be invested in equity. Never believed in any other asset class. And my bankers are horrified. They say, "Sir, ye kya kar rahe hain? Aap thoda debt mein dal dijiye, thoda ye dal dijiye." I said, "I know what I'm doing. I understood the risk, and I'm happy with that risk."
If you learned something new from this video, do share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel so that we can bring you the best content possible. Also, if you want to watch this entire episode, click on the link in the description box and you can go to Kushal Lodha YouTube channel and watch the entire podcast episode. Thank you so much for watching this and have an amazing day.